Hello everyone, this is Nocturne and welcome back to some more Minecraft. We're back in the house over here because like I said at the end of the last episode, I wanted to go ahead and make us some new boots to try and help with all the annoying falling I've been doing off houses. And this is just a really quick little cool thing, also from Industrial Craft. They are called rubber boots, and all you're going to need is 6 pieces of rubber and some wool, and you get yourself the rubber boots. Now, what's great about these, as opposed to any other kind of boots? Well, they're kind of cool looking, nice and black, and they almost kind of look like waders as far up as they come. But if we go ahead and come out here and climb up on the roof, you note the house is about 6 blocks tall, and as many of you know, 3 blocks is about the safest distance you can fall without taking fall damage. But now, if we've got our rubber boots on, I can do that and no damage. There are, of course, better boots, from the portal gun mod actually, that I might get into later, but for now this is a really cheap, easy upgrade, and I don't have to worry about fall damage. And that's really all I wanted to do to start off this episode. We're going to pick up pretty much where we left off, working on Thaumcraft, but first we're going to need a few more supplies. I did a little playing around off screen, trying some layouts of how I want to do some decorations for Thaumcraft house, but again, first we need a couple supplies before we actually get to decorating, and for one of those we're actually going to need to travel to the Nexus, and I did mention I was going to be explaining this in a future episode. This is a Noc'Craft book that links to other dimensions, and it's really kind of cool the way all that works. I might go ahead and spend a little time at the end of the episode going more in depth on the Noc'Craft stuff, but for now just know that I can do this instead of needing another portal, and dun dun dun, we're in the Nether. Instantaneous travel, so much nicer than a portal, and where we are now is actually a bit of a secret project from everyone else on the server. And this is going to become our new temporary Nether Nexus. To be able to... Yes, Nexus! To be able to quick travel between places in the world. Basically the way it'll work is people will come here to the Nexus, pick another book, and I believe this one actually goes to Keshem's house. Dun dun dun! Now we're at Keshem's. And if you go ahead and look at the coordinates, he's at about 200 by 380. If we go right off that way, you can actually see the blue dot. That's our house. So we actually traveled a pretty cool distance. And then we can just go ahead and travel back. And now we're back home. It's really awesome. Anyway, we are here for lava. And shh, secret entrance. Don't tell anyone. Oh, and while we're here, coming up in the next episode, I actually went and built ourselves a Blaze XP farm. I actually did it yesterday, but because it took so long and I decided to do this really kind of cool editing stuff with it, which you guys will see when you get to episode 10. Yeah, Echo helped a lot. Thank you very much. Ended up going crafting myself this cool thing from Xeno's Reliquary. It's called the Salamander's Eye, and as you can see from the tooltip there, dispels blaze fireballs, reflects gas fireballs, and puts out fires around you. It's almost a must-have when you're in the Nether. It's actually kind of really expensive to make. If you go ahead and take a look here, 4 blaze rods, 2 magma creams, 2 gas tiers, and an Eye of Ender. So, not cheap, but oh my god, how amazing it is. And it's a little creepy, it blinks at you when you're holding it. The only downside of this thing, it only works when you're holding it in your hand like this. You can't just have it in your hotbar or in your inventory, like some of Xeno's old equivalent exchange stuff. But once you do, you have nothing to fear in the Nether except for, like, blazes coming and smacking you in the face, falling in lava, and wither skeletons chopping your face off with swords, which we had a bit of trouble with when we were doing things. Oh, and here you go. You can watch as it puts out the fire. This is awesome. Boom. It does it in a nice radius around you, so you never have to worry about all the other dangers that are out here. And I was actually hoping to find a gas so I could show you the cool knockback that it does on their fireballs. But I guess we might have to save that for a future episode, since we're really just here for some lava. Hey! Whew! Ooh, I don't know how much of that you guys saw, but remember back in episode 1, Black Flame and I were talking about the fire bats? That was one of them. He just came up and attacked me. I probably would have been on fire if I wasn't holding my salamanders. Oh, there's a couple of them you can see right there. Thaumcraft adds these guys in. And if you let them attack you for too long, 1, they'll set you on fire, 2, they'll be damaging you, and 3, if you're not fast enough, they explode. And that hurts a lot. So I'm going to try and not be here too long, and just come and grab the lava we're going to need. This is important for some of the things we're going to be doing in Thaumcraft, like I said earlier. So now that we got this, we can go and just jump back through our super secret nexus, which I think Keshem is the only one on the server who knows about this, and he shouldn't be telling anybody, but we'll see how long that lasts. I'm pretty sure episode 11 is where we're going to pick up with that, and we're actually going to make that out look really cool. But now that we got what we needed, let me go ahead and drop off this excess netherrack. Ah, yes. Cool. Give me a sec, let me talk to Avi real quick, and I'll join you guys back over at the Thaumcraft house. Okay, well, I think Avi's going to be joining us here in a few, but while we wait, let's go ahead and get started on some of this stuff. Avi is definitely one of the better builders on the server, so I know I asked you guys for some opinions on what to do with the house, and I'm going to be doing some stuff here and probably asking you guys a few more questions on things, but it never hurts to get multiple opinions, so I'm still looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about things. And, well, now that we're here, let's go ahead and get started. This is where the lava is going to live, but first things first, we need to craft a few items that are very important for getting started in Thaumcraft. And when it comes to magic, of course, the very first thing anyone ever needs in all sorts of magic things... let me go ahead and just grab these up too. Get out my inventory. There you go. Drop off some of this extra junk. I don't know why I'm carrying around so much stuff. I think it's just a hazard of modded Minecraft. You never have enough space. And I think I might go ahead and try and do something about that here at the end of the episode, maybe. Or maybe in episode 11 before we get started on the Nether Nexus. But anyway, moving on, Thaumcraft. Like I said, one of the very first things you're probably ever going to want in magic is a magic wand. Very simple. Just grab yourself one of these aura shards. I'm not entirely sure what the generic name for these are, but any one does fine. I just happen to have a lot of extra earth shards, a stick, and a gold nugget, and you get yourself the Wand of the Apprentice. And Azanor, the creator of this mod, has done some really awesome things with this mod. And before, you used to have to hover over and see, as you can tell, it holds a certain amount of V. V is the magic of Thaumcraft that is in this world. But when you go ahead and hold it in your hand, you can go ahead and see we've actually got a meter that has been added right above our food bar. And the Wand of the Apprentice, like you see, holds 50 V. I know there's an S there, but every time I've ever heard Azanor mention the word, he always leaves the S off. I think it's sort of a silent thing, but that's cool. Now that we have our wand, what do? Can we just run around and start whacking things? No, oh, nope, that doesn't seem to work. Nope. Well, I think we're going to need ourselves a guide to get us through this mod. I know I'm here to help you with that, but everybody can use a little help sometimes. And if you're doing this on your own, you're definitely going to want to go ahead and grab this. So, first things first, you need yourself a bookshelf. Go ahead and plop it on the ground. Take out your Wand of the Apprentice, and right-click. Dun dun dun! Magic! We got ourselves a Thaumonomicon. I love the word for this. It's perfect. So, Thaumonomicon. It is your guide to Thaumcraft. Your guide to Thaumcraft. Now, just go ahead and right-click. And he has done a brilliant job with this. He basically took the achievement screen and the book and sort of combined them to make just wow. And you'll note that here we've got some that are already lit up. If you go ahead and go click through these, I'll let you guys do that on your own. It pretty much explains all the cool stuff that is in Thaumcraft, all the background information you're going to need to know. Like I said, I'm not going to go ahead and put this up because I'll probably be explaining these things as we go. Like you guys saw in episode 1 or 2 when we finally got to our cave in the infused ores. So I guess this is where I would find out what exactly they're called. And of course the Cinder Pearl and the Shimmer Leaf, the flowers I mentioned in episode 4. And here, now I do find it kind of funny that the recipe for the Thaumonomicon, how to do it, is in the Thaumonomicon. So if you don't know how to get a Thaumonomicon, how do you get a Thaumonomicon? And sort of a catch-22, just kind of funny. But this is basically where you get all your crafting recipes, because if you were to go and look in NEI, if you were to go look for a wand, they don't show up. They used to, I think, but if you were to click on it, you wouldn't get a recipe. So you need this if you ever want to know how to do anything in Thaumcraft. Now, one of the first things we're going to need is a crucible. And for that, it's pretty simple. To craft it, you're going to need a cauldron, and you're going to need to use your wand on it. So, sounds simple enough. Alright, so we are going to need to get ourselves a crucible. Pretty easy. Oh, I already grabbed the iron. I forgot about that. And so, like you guys should know, cauldron. And now this is what we got the lava bucket for. If we go ahead and check here in our Thaumonomicon, it says what we need to do, it needs to be placed over a source of constant heat and filled with water. Once the water starts boiling, simply throw things in, they'll be broken down into essentia, and then you can use your wand on the crucible and hopefully, if you're lucky, get some cool magical stuff created out of it. And let me go ahead and kind of explain this page. I love the way he did his crafting recipes. This one pretty much says you're going to need to place in the world the cauldron, and then hit it with the wand, and it will cost 25 V out of your wand. So that's kind of important to remember, is how much V is in your wand and how much the recipe costs. Pretty much all the recipes in Thaumcraft are going to require some amount of V and eventually some amount of essentia, which is, like he says here, the component magics that make up all elements of Minecraft. If we go and flip to page 2, you get a little more explanation here about flux and bad things that could happen to you if you end up with too much flux. But again, all things that I will be explaining as we go ahead and work our way through this mod. But I think before we place this down and cause all sorts of havoc and terrible things, let's go ahead and finish decorating our house now that we have a couple items. So I think what I'm going to do is just really build the roof out like this, or the ceiling. And like I said, I spent a little time off screen. Hey Avi, what's up? Spent a little time off screen trying to figure out what I wanted to do with some of my decorative stuff. And let me just go ahead and finish this up. And I'll get back with you guys in here just a second. This won't take long, but, you know, 2 minutes of watching me place blocks may not be so exciting. So, be right back. Okay, everybody, slight change of plan. I did get a little bit of work done on the roof, but now that Avi's here, he's got a few suggestions for how we can kind of improve the look of this place. And so...
Hello.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing what he's got coming for us. So, something about changing the way our columns look. So I'll leave it to you.
Okay, essentially, it's one of those things where, one, just so people have a context, I come from a family of carpenters. My grandfather actually used to build apartment complexes, and my dad is a certified house builder, although kind of not doing much about that because our economic conditions in Michigan kind of suck for house building, but enough of that. That's just blah. Anyway, that said, though, we're also in the process of moving, so we're actually looking at houses, and so I've actually been looking at a lot of house plans and things like that, and it's been a pretty interesting inspiration for me right now, which is why I'm actually looking at modern houses to kind of contradict what I'm looking at right now, Minecraft. But Noc here has a really cool design. I like the simplicity of it, and at the same time, got a good niche to it. And so what I'm kind of looking at right now is I'm trying to just find where the hell the damn diamonds are, so I can. Or actually, you know what? Aha! I can just grab a diamond handsaw. All right, there we go. I forget sometimes Minecraft can actually be intuitive sometimes. You have a. Oh, that's right. You have that fancy workbench set up, don't
What?
you?
I don't have any workbenches over
Your
here yet, no.
your magical teleporting workbench of magical wonder.
Magical teleporting workbench of wonder.
No, magical
Oh,
wonder.
oh,
Get it right. Get it right.
the minium stone, the portable one? This
Yes.
awesome thing? Yeah,
Yes.
it is awesome.
Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna down my own workbench.
Alright, so again, while Avi's working, let me go ahead and show you guys some of the things I came up with while I was playing around off camera for using some of these cool, awesome Thaumcraft blocks for decoration. I really, again, think they look and work really well with the nether brick. It's a really nice look, and what I came up with was something a little like this. Again, I'd love to get you guys' opinions on this, and when Avi's done showing us the new column design, I'd like to get his opinion as well. But it's gonna look a little like and I would have gone with more, but unfortunately, as you can see, I had just enough to make this design. And I think it's really nice looking, and since we're here, let me go ahead and put the ladder up, which is what this was for. Oops. Why I left that hole there. And kind of show you guys from up above. You guys can kind of see the pattern I was playing around with. I think it looks really awesome. It does give a nice offset to all the red, and for what's going to be going here in the middle, like I said before, our lava, that's probably going to come off looking really nice. Anyway, I'm thinking maybe too in the future what we'll do is go ahead and replicate this on the ceiling, but maybe invert it. That might be a cool look. Something to try. But anyway, how's it coming, Evie?
It is more or less coming along.
Okay.
I'm trying to be nice with craft right now. Now let's see if that is the right thickness or not. Because the thing is, again, this roof is coming off what would basically be almost about an equivalent of 3 feet off from your actual main surface here. So without something to support it, like a gutter is only going to come about a foot off of your house normally. But
Okay.
that looks ugly in Minecraft, so we like to exaggerate things. So naturally you would need it to go a little beyond that. And so at that point it kind of becomes a matter of what can I put in Minecraft that would actually look, you know, structurally sound and thus pretty.
Okay.
Because we're trying not to go for abstract here, so.
I don't know. I mean, I definitely agree that the nether brick fence is a little too thin, but one thing I did like about it is the way it branches off on the sides like this to kind of give sort of a more brace-looking feel to it.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Let's... Oh, now that's interesting. It does not interact with the regular pillar.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Huh.
Yeah, I could have sworn with these pillars, maybe it's only with the posts and not the pillars because they're too thick, but you're supposed to be able to sort of make a little plus shape out of them. Like, there it goes.
Oh.
Like that.
Oh, now that is cool.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. So something
Gotcha.
like that, I think, might help tie it together if I could have put it down correctly. You have one more. I wanted to see if I could do a full plus piece.
There you go.
And again, guys, don't worry. This is just us playing around with designs.
This is the template. He will tear this apart and build it legit, I promise. Because they'll tear it apart for him.
Yep. Alright, I think I ended up doing it like that. There we go. How's that look? It's not perfect. No, no, Ninja. We don't need any more nukes. Not yet, anyway.
I'm curious. Hold on. What if we got a little more weird with it and just, I don't know.
You can
Hold on, let me
extend
see what
off
I
of them
can.
if you wanted to try that.
Now, with this plus, should we, I don't know, extend it out this way?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like if we did that, it should go all the way around.
Oh, I wouldn't have a problem with that. In fact, I wish I could show a single-player world of your over there, the marble one,
The main house.
because yeah, because when like I told you, I was bored one day, basically trying to replicate your house and seeing what I could tinker around with it, because your house is a square. That's like the biggest challenge. How do you make a square fun and interesting? And I essentially gave it a second floor, made mostly out of glass and wood paneling, and by the time I was done tinkering with glass half slabs, this really crazy ceiling pattern, um, it really just got out of hand to the point where I didn't know if I could make it in after that point, just because nuts. But in a good way, in a good way. Lazy, so you know, also that. Hmm.
Yeah, I suppose
Now,
being thicker does make more sense. Okay, guys, so I think that's kind of the design Avi was going for. So you saw what I came up with, and you see what he and I came up with, and I'm sure you guys have your own cool ideas, so definitely want to know what you guys have to think. Avi and I are going to go ahead and clean this up and kind of put things back the way they were, and I'll rejoin you guys in just a few seconds so we can go and talk about wrath lamps and a little more about how we're going to start working all this cool magical Thaumcrafty goodness. So be right back. Okay, so now that we've got our cool little design pattern in the floor, and we've got our light taken care of, it is time to finally work on some really awesome Thaumcraft stuff. So first things first, let's get ourselves our cauldron placed down, and don't worry, you don't have to hit it with the wand just yet. You can have it anywhere, and if you don't do it like this, it's also okay too. You could turn it into your crucible outside, pick it up, and it would stay a crucible. You don't have, the magic does not disappear. So, ta-da! We now have ourselves a crucible. Very. And the only thing missing now, like the Thaumonomicon told us, is water. And what I'm going to do real quick, actually, since we've got a nice big body of water all over the place around here, well, let's go to this lake. It's closer. Get us another one, and we're going to go ahead and make an infinite spring in the house, just to be easy for us to be having access to in the future. And there are some really cool automated ways of doing things that we'll want to take advantage of too. But for the moment, I think we'll just go ahead. Also, you know, kind of pretty it up. Do a very simple corner spring, like so. And we can just go ahead and grab from here, drop the water in our crucible, and give it a little time, and it'll actually start to boil. There it goes. Once it starts boiling, it's ready to go, and you can just start throwing things in it and trying to learn all you can about the cool magics that Thaumcraft has added to the game. Now, nice. Now, there are, of course, other ways to learn. You could just randomly throw things in here and whack it with the wand and hope for the best, and you might eventually learn things that way. But there are other ways, better ways, of figuring these things out, and I've got everything I need in my inventory, and so let's go ahead, take out our Thaumonomicon, and learn a little bit more about tables. Really simple. They look really nice, and we need them, like it says here, to make an arcane work table and the research table. Just take some slabs and some planks like the recipe says, and we can go ahead and, let's see, we need a few slabs, and we're actually going to need 2 of these, so it's a good thing we get the 6 slabs. And apparently I just did that wrong. I think it's actually this way. There we go. 2 tables. Very, very nice. And now you guys can see what I was starting to map out here. Put our table down. I don't think it has a texture in this pack yet, but it still looks amazing even in default. And when you put down the second one, nothing too fancy yet. It's just 2 tables. But again, they're very nice, and you could place things on it if you wanted to. You could even go and put a little vanilla flower pot on here. That would be nice. But next up, what we're going to need, which again I forgot, I actually had it in my inventory. What you need to do anything awesome with this is we need some scribing tools. Scribing tools, like it says, fulfill 2 important functions. The first is that they can be carried along with your person with paper in the hopes of making discoveries in the field when experimenting with the crucible. The second is to craft the research table. And that's what I was talking about before. You could just start throwing things in here, and as long as you've got scribing tools and a piece of paper on you, go for it. You might be able to figure out things along the way, but I think we're going to want to go ahead and work on a research table first instead. And it doesn't appear to be anything quite detailing that out, so I'll just go ahead and tell you guys. What you're going to need to do is get glass bottle, feather, and an ink sac. And we're going to go ahead and get that going. Ooh, I'm missing a feather. 1 second. Okay, everybody. Came back. Ninja, turns out, has a chicken farm because I had no feathers, so nice and convenient of him to donate some of that to us. So like we saw, we're going to need ink sac, bottle, and feather, and I'm pretty sure this is a shapeless recipe. You can do it any which way you want. As long as you got all 3 of them, get yourself some scribing tools. And now, with scribing tools, like I said, the Thaumanomicon doesn't seem to explain this exactly, but walk up to your 2 tables here, and if you want it to look nice, click on the left one, and ta-da! You got yourself the writing desk. And if you go ahead and open up the interface, it's this really crazy looking thing. You got all these slots over here, and these slots, and these slots, and what is this weird rune over here? Oh man, so confusing. But not to worry, it is awesome, and I will show you guys how this works. But since we're on the road to Thaumcraft, I'll also note I did end up raising the roof a little bit. It needed it, and it feels kind of nice having a 5 tall, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 tall ceiling. It gives a nice sense of space. But yes, since we are crafting the Thaumcraft goodies, let us go ahead and make ourselves our very first Thaumcraft workbench, the Arcane Work Table. Really simple. We're going to need another table, and then we whack it with the wand. And what's cool is this one, as you can see, requires no V. So apart from crafting normal recipes, in other words, it works just like a crafting table. It also does all the cool magical stuff that you are going to be doing for the basic Thaumcraft items in it as well. And like you see here, to do what you need to place a casting wand in the bottom right slot. So you actually need the wand to do any of the crafting that's with it. So let us make ourselves another table. Just go ahead and quick craft up another one. And that is what this spot over here is for. And if we get out our wand and whack it like the book said, ta-da! Arcane work table, and here is our wand. And as you can see, the wand even shows up on the table, and if you take the wand out of the table, it disappears. That's a really cool little attention to detail. You'll find Asinor has all sorts of that stuff all over his mods. It's really amazing. Oh, what kind of present, Eco? A good one. Well, let me go ahead and finish recording this episode, and we'll go ahead and check that out. So, okay, I guess moving on, now that we've got our crucible, we've got our research table, and we've got our arcane workbench all ready to go. So, what now? Well, like I said before, you can just start throwing things in the crucible and figuring out how all this stuff works, and hopefully come across some of these awesome researches over here, which is what these all are. At the moment, the blinking ones are the ones that are available to us to learn, and the dark ones are going to actually, like the tooltip says, missing required research. Very cool. I actually haven't had a chance to look at the Thaumonomicon since adding Thaumic Bees, which is a cool little add-on that gives you forestry bee stuff, but gives you access to it with all the other amazing things that Thaumcraft gives you. And if you go ahead and take a look, there's all sorts of really, really sweet things coming up that I'm so looking forward to showing off to you guys and showing off some cool designs. There's even something little sorting system thing that I've got an idea for eventually. But first off, let's go ahead and check out something pretty simple to make. So let me go ahead. Whoa! Yeah, that's a nice... Wow, that is a nice present. Nanosuit leggings and an iron jackhammer. Oh, so these are extras. Well, still, thanks Eco, that is awesome. Oh, and there's always a helmet. I didn't even see that. Sweet. Nice. Well, I was going to go ahead and craft some of that stuff for us in a future episode, but awesome, Eco. That'll save a lot of time. Let me go ahead and drop this stuff in a safe place. Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. It's really nice. It's like the very first time I've ever tried to actually make something nice in this game, and I think it's turned out really good. Okay, so back to Thaumcraft. We're going to need us a few supplies, and if I can remember this off the top of my head, we're going to need a bit of Nicolite, and we're probably going to need a bit of cobble. And I guess something else that I should mention now that we're doing Thaumcraft, you may have noticed as I'm shift-clicking stuff in my inventory, this cool little tooltip shows up above the name. These are the various essentia related to every single item in the game. Every single thing in the world has a set number and quantity of essentia that makes it up. And it's just awesome. Like I said, the level of detail that Azanor has done with this mod. And like I said, I think we're going to need some Nicolite, which here that is Machina and Potentia. And then this one's Fractus and Ignis, I'm going to say. And I think that's what we need to get this. I'm not certain, but we're also going to go ahead and need some paper. And pretty sure that's it. I will definitely be coming back for a few more supplies. Eventually this chest is going to move inside. That's what that last stone brick is for. It's always good to have a bunch of research supplies nearby because now I'm going to show you how the research table works. Alright, first off, this is pretty much the only button you need to worry about. This is the research button. This is your output window for telling you what you're researching and how close you are with it. And right here is where you put your paper. This one is the output for any research notes you've completed. And down here we've got ourselves this little bar, which... actually, let me go ahead and throw something in here first, and I'll show you. This is for the item you want to research, and you need to research items to be able to learn anything new. So basically you're studying objects of the world to learn about the basic essentia. If you think about it sort of like science, you're studying the molecular structure of things to figure out how they work and maybe how you can put them together in your own way. So you're studying the essentia to see how you can break things down and make awesome magical goodies with it. So here is where you put the items you want to research, and here are the various essentia that make up the item. So like I said, this one is Fractus, Destruction, Fragmented, and Shattered. Those various items that make up the broken cobblestone. And of course, because it's stone, you also get Saxum, not Ignis, right? Ignis would be fire. Saxum, so stone or rock. And now we can actually go ahead and click the search button, because you can see it lights up. And oh, what do you know? We got ourselves some unknown theory. If you ever have something over here that you're researching and you click the search button and this pops up, that means you've actually got something new to learn. And since we're just starting off, we've got everything to learn. So obviously this was going to happen, but it's a good way to know if you ever get stuck researching and you don't know if you have gotten all the stuff, because believe it or not, as many things as you see here, Azanor was a little sneaky, and there's some hidden researches to find later on. So it's a good way to know whether or not you've got any research left to do if this pops up. If it doesn't, then you're probably good until the next update, when he's probably going to add some really more awesome research things in. But anyway, since we know we've got this, and it leads us to some sort of research, we can go and we keep researching this, but you'll notice nothing's really happening. We can keep clicking. Oh, something finally happened after all this. And that's what this little slider down here is for. Cursory and thorough. With thorough, you have a higher chance of losing the item as you research it, so you're doing a more in-depth research. Like, pretend, since this is cobblestone, you've taken a hammer and you've smashed it to bits, and you've mixed it with water, and you're looking at all the little pieces that make it up, and, well, since you smashed it to bits, you don't really have the cobblestone anymore, so you've lost it. But if you're doing a little cursory research, you just kind of have the cobblestone out in the world, and you're taking the time, and you're thinking about it, and you're like, well, it's definitely hard, and there's this other cool aspects about it, and there's other things, and so you're doing just a real cursory look at it. And that's what this is. But the other thing to note is that in cursory, while you have a lesser chance of losing your item, you have a lesser percent chance of actually learning anything useful, which you see while it was going here. Not always, Ninja. You do have well, technically you have a very small percent chance of losing things. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, but okay, back to this. You don't always have a very high percent chance of learning anything useful about this new item, this new magical goodie. But in thorough, you're going to have a pretty high percent chance of losing things, but you're going to learn things a lot faster. So you'll note that we just lost our cobblestone, but bam, it jumped up automatically to 50%. And that's some other cool things here too, is if you hover over this, you notice before it was Obscura, and that will be like that until you get it far enough along. I think the threshold's about 30%. And now we've got Fractus here. So we know that whatever we're researching is going to require the Essentia Fractus in the future. And if we go over here, I don't think we're far enough along yet, but once this hits about 50% total research, it's going to tell us what it is we're researching. And up here is our little hint. And if you just mouse over that, oh, it's in that weird, goofy, ancient language. Well, my ancient is a little rusty, guys, so I don't know about you, but not to fear. There is a way to fix this. Once the research does hit 50% and it tells you what it is, it automatically translates this for you, and let's go ahead and see if we can get there right now. Just go ahead and burn up some cobblestone. You'll know you're done when it gets this really awesome little effect around these little multicolored rainbow lightning bolts. And you'll also note the tooltip tells you you're 100%. And so now if we look at this, ooh, turns out we're trying to figure out how to make Alimentum. And like I said, now that we're at 50%, which this used to tell you, oh well, might be misremembering things, but that's okay. Now if we go ahead and look at this, oh, nope, we are not at 50%. I thought as much. Well, having done some Thaumcraft stuff in the past before, I know that we're also going to need some of the cool stuff in Nikolite. I'm pretty sure Potentia is the one we're going to need here. And something that I like to do is switch back to Cursory just to double check that we're going to need any of these, because you may have noticed before that when we toss cobblestone in here, Saxum faded out, which says whatever we're researching does not need Saxum. And yes, by the way, because there are 5 here, you could go ahead and fill it out and research more than one thing at a time. I'm just very much used to doing one at a time. That way I know that I'm not going to accidentally lose things, because I tend to do a lot of my research in thorough. So, cursory to make sure that we do need these. And it does take a little time, but you end up losing almost nothing. So I ended up clicking like 6 times there, but we only lost 2, so that's good. But now we see that whatever it is needs Potentia, or Alimentum requires Potentia. So we can go ahead and switch back into thorough, finish out this research, and now we've hit that 50% mark. Yeah, 50% is like the nice magical number when you're researching. It'll tell you how many different essentia you need. It won't necessarily tell you what, but it'll tell you that in this case, there are 3. And for the basic stuff, this is true. I will elaborate further in the future, but now that we're at 50%, you can see it has been translated for us. This substance throbs with fiery energy, and it is more than eager to release that energy at the slightest bump. It may be unstable, but it would probably make a good source of fuel. And as interesting as that is, this is actually giving you a bunch of hints about what you need to do. So if you kind of look at this, a good source of fuel. So maybe you want to try and grab some coal. Exactly, Eco. Energy. Maybe you want to look into getting some redstone, or in this case, nickelite, which actually, nickelite and redstone, handy little fact to know, have the exact same essentia that make them up. So maybe you want to go ahead and look into some of that. From doing this before, I happen to know that Fractus is a good one to get from cobblestone. And I guess now that we are almost 75% with this one, let's go ahead and keep researching this guy. And, ooh, darn. We didn't quite hit 75%, which is the next little magic number, which will actually tell you what you're missing. So let's see, let's look at this. We need energy, we need fuel, we need... Well, since it mentions fuel, let's go ahead and actually try coal and start researching that. So, instead of going with nickelite, I could have just gone with coal, but I have way more nickelite than I have coal, so I went with that instead. It's up to you. That's the great thing about Thaumcraft research. You can do it any way you want to. And so let's go ahead and see. What do we have here that we might actually need? Let's actually switch that back to cursory. Ooh, turns out we need ignis, fire, heat, burn, fuel. Okay, so 80%. Got the last one revealed to us. The hints were pretty good. So let's go ahead and finish this guy out. And when you hit 100%, you get yourself a discovery. And these are really sweet looking too. Azenor took the time to completely reskin the maps in this game. And so if we go ahead, come out here into the light, beautiful dawn, wonderful day, new discoveries await. Go ahead and take a look. This substance throbs with a fiery energy, and it's actually the exact same hint text you get, but it tells you the recipe you're now going to need. You're going to need potentia, ignis, and fractus to make elementum. And how do we actually go ahead and do anything with this? We've learned it, but now what? Right-click. Ta-da! Research completed. And now, if we come back and check our Thaumonomicon, you'll see it's no longer flashing, and we can actually go ahead and click on it. And there you go. This substance, again, tool, the tip here, it's probably not a good idea to throw it against a solid surface unless you enjoy explosions. Oh, but I think we enjoy explosions, so let's go ahead and see what we can do about making up one of these. So, like you saw there, it tells you exactly the quantities and types of essentia you're going to need to make something. And since we're going to be doing cool things, let's go and grab ourselves our wand. So let's see, what do we need? We need 3 fractus, 6 ignis, and 6 potentia. Okay, that doesn't sound too bad. So we go into our inventory and we take a look at nickelite. We've got potentia and machina. Well, let's go and use coal since we know that's got a lot of what we need. So we needed 6 ignis and 6 potentia, so that's 3 coal. And we also need some fractus. We needed 3 of those, so 3 cobblestone. Alright, great. We've got what we need, so now we can just go ahead and toss it right into our crucible. And you can hear the cool little sound effects too. Oops. Alright. Our stuff's in there. It's been broken down to its little essentias. And just go ahead and right click. Ta-da! We have made alumentum. And since we know it explodes, I figure I couldn't let us end this episode without a brief demonstration of the awesomeness of alumentum. Goodbye, tree. Boom! Oh, that is so fun. It's like the magical holy hand grenade of awesomeness. Man, I love that stuff. I don't think I ever made nearly enough of it in on my old map with these guys. Well, I think that's about going to be the only research I actually end up doing on camera. I hope you guys learned a lot from that. I've tried to explain pretty much everything that there was to know about it. Hard, he says. So, again, I tried to explain pretty much everything that you're going to need to know about research. That should cover just about everything you're going to need to get started. I am going to end up doing the rest of the research off camera because I think a big part of this mod is the research, and if I were to just tell you how to do everything yourself, that would really take away from all the fun and enjoyment. There are, of course, wikis out there that will tell you all the answers you need if you want to go ahead and do the shortcuts. You may also want to check out Zisto on YouTube. He's got a pretty cool Feed the Beast mod pack thing going from the Minecraft server. And he actually goes through and shows all the research. So if you wanted to check out someone who does that, if you want to just check out the researches, I would recommend going and checking out Zisto. He's got some really cool stuff going on, and he goes into it blind, not knowing what's going on, so you and he can both learn a lot about it together going forward. So again, I'm not going to do any more research on camera, but I will definitely be showing you some of the cool ways to play with all the toys that Azanor's got for us. And I think with that, after this very long episode, thank you, Eco. That's Zisto's channel right there if you want to go check it out. So yes, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed all this cool Thaumcraft stuff. I hope you really liked the house. There's a few more decoration things I wanted to do and a few more things I was hoping to get to. I know I said I was going to go and try and explain some of the Mistcraft stuff, but again, this episode has turned out to be a lot longer than I expected. So we'll go ahead and save that for episode 11, just before we get started on our Nether Nexus. Or maybe we'll actually end up doing that for episode 11 instead, because we've got that cool Blaze Farm build coming up next episode. And since we've got all that going, it might be good to just go ahead and push off the Nether Nexus build for another episode. But that's cool, since we've got all sorts of cool things still coming up, all sorts of amazing things to explore and tinker with. And man, I cannot wait to get some of the stuff that's coming up. You guys are going to love it. Alright, well, I think we've gone on long enough, I'm sorry to say, but it is time to end today's episode. Once again, I hope everybody enjoyed, and this has been Nocturne, and Ninja, and Eco, and everybody else from the server who's on right now. Oh, I guess it's just the three of us. Yeah, turns out everyone else had to go to bed from last episode, so thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys again in the next episode. See you later.